drudgereport.com, stonezone.com. If you want to see the full clip, we're going to play about 60 seconds of it. Simply amazing, where senior GOP official Curly Hogland, quote, "We choose a nominee, not the voters." And then she says, it's this Toto moment when the curtains pull back, "So why even have primaries?" And he goes, "That's a good point. Why even vote?" I mean, are we North Korea or are we the United States of America? Are we a republic or are we a oligarchy? I mean, the scales are coming off the eyes. Here's the clip, Roger.
I don't think that's the case once if it would just be understood. We have a problem with the media. Unfortunately, the cable networks are trying to determine our
I don't think this is a problem with the media. I've heard from a lot of voters who say if they feel like their votes got stolen, that they would be very unhappy and very angry. I think you're looking at a different situation. I realize these have been the rules, but the last time these rules were put in place was 1976. It's been a long time since then.
Yeah, they're still there. Yeah, that's a problem. The media has created a perception that the voters will decide the nomination, and that's the concept. That's the conflict here.
We feel like we live in a democratic society. What you're telling me is it's not a democratic society, and your votes don't necessarily matter because it's a democratic representation, correct?
No, that's not what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm trying to say is that we're just one of the political parties. There's many political parties, but political parties choose their nominee, not the general public, contrary to popular belief.
Then why not holding the primaries?
That's a very good question.
Gary, that's a very good question. So they've reached this magic moment where they're out in the open. They're trying to sell the idea that they can change rules and ignore the popular vote. The Democrats are doing it as well with Sanders. And the Republican leadership's obviously sided with the Democrats. They don't care if they blow the party up. That's all part of the plan. But will they be able to survive the public's anger? And will they be able to bully the superdelegates into going along with this, Mr. Stone?
Well, look, it's not over till it's over. There's a substantial number of veterans of the Reagan 76 campaign, veterans of the Ron Paul wars, veterans even of the Goldwater campaign who are going to be rallying. Do not assume that Donald Trump will be outmaneuvered at this convention, because we aren't going to let that happen. And Trump, as someone this close to the nomination, is not without cards or maneuvers. And he can outmaneuver the kingmakers. But what you just heard there was the arrogance of the ruling elite. What he doesn't seem to understand is the voters elect delegates who go to a party convention to select the nominee. The delegates, other than the superdelegates, are not selected by the party bosses. They are selected by the people. And they have every intention of abrogating the votes of the people to allow this decision to be made by a small ruling clique. Right now, somewhere, Mitt Romney is in the bullpen with his makeup on, ready for his emergence as the compromise candidate.
You called it before he started halfway getting in and then said he wouldn't. You've also talked about Paul Ryan, Boehner trying to draft him. Is there any truth to that?
Well, I think he's an acceptable option. Look, last week, as you probably saw, he announced that under no circumstances would he be a candidate. That tells me that he has every intention of being a candidate. That's how American politics works. In American politics, no always means yes. If you don't want to be vice president, if you want to be vice president, immediately announce that under no circumstances will you take the vice presidency. You saw that from John Kasich this week. P.S. He would take the vice presidency from Donald Trump tomorrow in a heartbeat. Personally, it's just my opinion. I don't think Trump is going to offer it to him. I don't think Trump wants him. I think Trump is very unsettled by his support for Common Core and his embrace of Obamacare.
Sure, that's another question. Let me ask you this.
And his support for NAFTA.
Who do you think Trump's looking at for VP?
There's no way of saying, other than to say, because he's a businessman, and I know how business people think, all options are on the table until he's ready to make a decision. He's going into a convention in which you have a number of people who would like to be vice president. I do think that he is going to pick somebody whose views are entirely consistent with his own.
What about Senator Sessions? That would help him in the South, but he's already got the South.
I think he's already strong in the South. I would hope that he would look for someone outside the realm of career politicians, someone who's a true leader, someone with stature, perhaps somebody with a military background.
Sure. What about the word, some people saying Cruz?
I don't see that happening. And here's why. Trump has totally lost any confidence in Ted Cruz's ability to tell the truth. Ted Cruz has campaigned up and down this country saying, Donald Trump...
Sure, so that's not rhetoric from Trump when he says he can't stand Cruz.
Well, Cruz keeps saying Donald Trump supported Jimmy Carter. Alex, I ran the Reagan campaign in New York in 1980. Donald Trump and his father were the first finance committee members for Ronald Reagan. He got us our headquarters at a low rent, at a building he didn't own, but a friend of his owned. He got our telephones put in on an expedited matter. He let us use his airplane.
You know what? Do 5 more minutes with us, because I want to talk about knowing Trump for 40 years, who he really is, for folks out there that want to hear it.